Welcome, George Conway.
Oh,
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
I only watched this speech because of you. You made me watch this speech because you wanted me to
Welcome.
come here and talk about this speech. Oh, it's so unbearably bad. He's so bad at this. But I mean, he's good at just sort of
He's
repeating endless lies. Just
right.
look. I'm going to give him some credit here. He did say a couple of true things. He said
Okay.
that it's America's 250th anniversary.
Right. You got those numbers right.
True. Um, Connor Hellebuck played a fantastic game on Sunday. The goals
That's hockey. Yeah, he somebody told
41
him about
saves.
that
Got
hockey
that
game.
right. That
Yeah.
was 2. And then
That
I
was it.
can't keep it. I mean, it just was
It
it's just an endless series of lies about. I mean, you can't even. I mean, it was like 5 sentences in. I lost track already of the lies.
so
Sometimes,
so
anytime there's a sentence over 10 words, it's just a series of lies. It's incredible.
I watched the 2017 speech, which was the speech that he gave right after American Carnage. Remember American
Yeah,
Carnage?
that wasn't the worst speech he's ever given. That was actually
No,
one of the better ones.
it
And
was
everybody said, "Oh, this is the day he became president."
right. It was actually a good speech, and so
It had a thread
criticism
to it. I don't remember what he did, but it actually had a thread. It had a beginning,
right.
middle, and an end. This has no. I mean, this is just basically a Cuisinart of
Yes. Uh,
delusional
but
projection. Yeah. Anyway.
But a few things I wanna talk about. So if you watch the 2017 speech versus now, it's been a decade of our lives wasted on this, and he is just a lot slower and tireder and fatter and weirder. But, one of the things that he did do in this speech, which I think he is happy with, was he did these things where he tried to make you say, "If you love America, stand up." If
Right.
you hate America, stay seated.
Right.
I don't know how well those worked, but you could tell that was like a little bit of Stephen Miller, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it's that, and then really, really, I mean, it's an old thing going back to Reagan, where you put somebody in the audience and then you
Right.
put them out and you applaud them, and then you try to bask in their glory
Right.
by saying, "I love them and I'm going to give them an award," or "I'm praising them for this."
Right.
Kind of, you join forces with them. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this many people being trotted out as props. And
Yeah.
while it doesn't go anywhere. It's overdone. And anyway,
There
what
was
else happens?
yeah, he brought everyone who's ever been in Breitbart out there, the poor woman who was murdered by the immigrant on the bus,
Yeah,
or
oh, and
yeah, and had the crying parents. I mean, I don't know, I guess that Americans like that. They feel like it feels very tawdry to me.
it does feel very tawdry, particularly when it's being done by a man who has absolutely no empathy, no capacity
Right.
for empathy. He's just trotting them out as props. These people, they don't really care about any of these people. They're just being used. And it really is tawdry. It's really kind of,
So so
anyway.
one thing he did that was smart, I think, and it was a piece, that had been it was low-hanging fruit that's been there for a long time, but it needs more context. The bipartisan stock ban is good, and
Yes.
everyone and it's a good opportunity for him to dunk on Pelosi, who has not been at the forefront of it as she should be.
Right.
The problem is if
Look,
you look
you
at
have the most corrupt president in the history of mankind, who's
right,
profiting off of crypto and everything else under the sun.
right,
What he's doing is worse than stock trading. He's basically selling influence using crypto.
right.
He's got that whole thing where they made the deal with the sheiks, and the sheiks came over and bought into his company. It's like, why is that any better than the congressional stock trading? I mean, it's even worse than the congressional stock trading, but at least if the congressional stock trading is, you can kind of learn something in your job that,
Right,
where the market's going to go. But this is just basically, he's selling influence.
right.
which is even, which is just direct cash and carry, in a way that the stock trading, which is bad enough,
Right.
isn't.
Yeah. I think being like the biggest kleptocrat in American history, complaining about stock trading, when you've also had a stock trading bill before that you said you weren't going to approve. I mean, that's the other thing is he's had other opportunities on this stock trading. Uh,
None of it stops him. It doesn't matter. He will do something today that he rejected yesterday, and he won't. Again, they're introducing some, I don't know, a Marine. I don't know. Again, it just doesn't. This must be like the 30th person they brought up.
yeah.
Who says a problem?
It's also, this was a speech that started at 9, and we're in now
It's an hour and
hour.
48 in, right?
Right. And he said he was going to be very, very long.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, he
the,
is. I joked online that he's been trashing the rest of the Constitution, but now he's going after the Eighth Amendment. That's the one that prohibits cruel or unusual punishment. And
it's true. So let's talk about the stock ban. Uh, the hockey people, he brought them in. That was a last minute ad. Uh, and then JD in charge of fraud. Let's talk about fraud because fraud is an issue that Republicans have successfully done well on historically. And so he's going to put JD in charge of it.
I thought Doge took care of that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought Doge took care of that. I thought Doge
Fraud,
took care of
waste, and
that.
abuse.
Are you saying that Doge didn't get rid of all the fraud, waste, and abuse? What happened to Doge? It's kind of like Iran. We obliterated their nuclear program, and we will now obliterate them again because they can't have nuclear. It was like, okay, how do you what? It's like, oh, he literally said that we obliterated their nuclear program, and we will not allow them to have nuclear weapons. Like, and he's going to obliterate them again. It doesn't
I
even make sense. It's like if you these speeches are just designed for people who are basically not paying any attention at all. And I don't think anybody's like, I mean, it's just I think it's just all staged so that you can have these people clap like seals. And so you have the dear leader up there and then the cult clapping. And that's what this is about. It's not coherent policy. It's not even a
no.
coherent speech. It just bounces from topic to topic. And most of the central points that he's making to the extent, about things that matter, like inflation, employment, they're lies. They're just flat out lies. Flat out
Yeah.
lies about the worst inflation in American history, I think he said. I wish I had a
Yeah.
specific because I
But
can
it's not.
highlight it. It
But
was during the Biden administration. Excuse me, dude, you're 80 years old just about, and you don't remember the 1970s?
I liked it when he was like, Fred Trump, my father, very handsome man,
Yeah,
die very old, though he wouldn't like me to say it.
yeah.
You know,
It's just
and
so weird. It's so
it's. But the question is, I think there are two questions I have for you, which is one is he's as unpopular as he's ever been,
yep.
and
And 6% approval among independents, I read the other day, or something.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
he's just, we got more people showing up to vote in the Democratic primary in Texas than in the Republican primary in
Right,
Texas, right?
right,
We've got the numbers I saw today were like Democrats are at 102% of the 2022 numbers, and Republicans are at like 50%.
right.
So we got an enthusiasm problem. We got an admin where Donald Trump is not he doesn't have the same kind of stuff he's had even a year ago. So
Right.
the question is, does this do anything for him? Does this get him anywhere?
I don't think it really does anything. Maybe some people will turn on the television tomorrow and see clips of him being applauded and say, "Oh, well, maybe he's not so bad." But now people go back to the grocery stores. They
Right.
can see what prices they're paying. They know whether they're making ends meet. And they can see whether the country is at war with if we go to war against Iran or we launch airstrikes against Iran to obliterate a nuclear program that he says was already obliterated. I mean, people, you could fool some of the people all the time, but you can't feel all of, he's running his string out. And I don't think he can really stop that. Again, another person. It's unbelievable. This
One of the things that
basically everything is like every minute or so, somebody's getting an award or getting applause. It's completely
two things happened, that I think we should talk about today, that he was going into this with. Gang of 8 got briefed by Marco. We don't know what that looks like, but assuming that's something to do with Iran, we
yeah.
know that the US military shockingly is even though it has trillions of dollars, is stretched pretty thin, is what the US because of our making Donald Trump making peace between India and Pakistan. By the way, like, if there's one thing not to say, it's that you've made peace between India and Pakistan. They keep saying, like, you know, like, we're gonna end up at war with India because he's just so offended them about that, he can't stop saying it. But he ended a war, he said, between Kosovo and Serbia, the 1990s called. And
He also pronounced it Servivia.
I
Sir,
like Servivia.
Servivia is that's like kind of like like Slovakia, or it's like
It's
everything
like
making words up.
it's
Just make words up. The one thing they got going on now, this was kind of nice, is a 100-year-old Korean War veteran. But
yes,
why would the
yes.
100-year-old Korean War veteran be like the 60th person they've announced? I mean, you do that one first. Everybody's applauding him, but it's like it's an hour and 54 minutes into
Yeah,
the speech.
yeah.
Hour and 54 minutes. What is this about?
So the Gang of 8 met today with Marco. I assume Marco was shopping the Iran stuff with them. Supposedly, there's more negotiations on Thursday, maybe not,
To
because
get
who
rid of the
knows?
nuclear program that was obliterated.
That was obliterated. Perhaps they'll get a nuclear deal, an
To
Iran nuclear
for
deal.
to give up the obliterated program that they want to, because we're threatening to obliterate it again.
They maybe could call it the Iran nuclear deal.
But there are no, but we obliterated the nuke. So how could it be a nuclear deal? I don't understand.
Another important point is today was a really bad day for people in the Epstein file yet again.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Second Brit arrested called for questioning. The heat is on.
Right.
Howard Lutnick sitting up in the front in an adorable little suit, just delighted. Seems like he is not resigning from the cabinet. Discuss.
Well, discuss. I mean, the biggest news of the day was the NPR story about how, if you look at we call them Bates numbers, they call them, the reporters call them serial numbers, but when you produce documents, you number the documents, and they figured out by looking at all of the documents that there's a range of numbers that are missing that contain uh, documents from the FBI's investigations about allegations that Trump had raped a young girl at age
Yeah.
13. Was 13 years old.
Yeah.
And kind of bad.
It
Kind of bad.
it it strikes me that that is not exonerated.
No, it's not exonerated, and it's also a cover up. It's also a violation of the statute that he signed requiring the production of these materials to the public. And somebody actually is intentionally withholding them.
Is he
And
breaking the law here?
yeah, he's breaking the law that he signed. They're all breaking the law. I mean, it's crazy stuff. And eh, I just don't think, I think that that story is going to keep getting worse for him.
Um, just in an alternative world for a second.
Mm.
Uh
Better world or a worse world? I don't think there is a worse one.
But if there were an alternative world where things made any sense, wouldn't you just ask Lutnick to resign so uh you didn't seem just so craven and guilty, or no?
Mm, the problem is, who is he to ask anybody to resign? What is Brent Lutnick has done that Trump hasn't done? What
Right.
why should there be any standards for anybody if there's no standards for the president of the United States when it comes to being Epstein's friend or just lying his ass off or having connections to s- sleazy things?
And and that's the question with the Republican congressperson from Texas, uh,
Oh yeah,
Gonzalez,
right.
who's aide or not aide, who a woman from his district
Humiliating.
office that he was having an affair with set herself on fire. Now he's in a primary standing next to my favorite was having Greg Abbott, who's standing next to someone, Troy Nils, and Troy's trying to
You even have people like Lauren Boebert saying the guy should resign. I mean, it's like,
Beaufort, Mace, and Luna are the
yeah,
conscience of the
of the
Republican
Republican
Party.
Party. It's like how I the degree of moral degradation of the presidency and
It's
of the
pretty dark.
Republican Party is just astounding. I mean, the lies, I mean, I don't even know how you count all the lies because there are phrases, then sub phrases in these sentences that are just lies. And it's just relentless. It's a relentless torrent now at an hour and 59 minutes.
So your friend and mine, Jesse Cannon, sent me a little bit of a tweet from Navigator Research. Our dials are clear. Americans don't want Trump focused on foreign wars. They just want lower costs at home. How will the Iran bombing Iran help that?
I don't see how it'll help that. And it's a question. I mean, everybody's asking the same question online. Like, if we obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons, why are we saying that we need to obliterate them again? None of this makes sense. And, all of it is very expensive. All of it is a distraction. All of it's just a circus. And it's just everything is meant to distract from everything else. He just finished up. He just finished up. So it was
So
two
2
hours,
hours.
2 hours. And
Uh,
he's
and
going,
did you learn anything?
well, no, there's no thread to it. There's no coherent thread to it. There's no accurate information. Once you listen to one lie, you can't listen to the rest because you're thinking about how could he just brazenly tell that last lie? And then you tune in again. It's like there's another one. And I mean, people can't be that stupid. I think some people are, but I think enough people are going to be able to pick out enough lies here that it's just I don't see how this does him any good. And it was boring, just boring. Unless you are it's yourself a member of the cult, it was just unbearable to watch. It's so
Yeah.
boring. He's just this weird kind of monotone and rambling and slurring. It's just really unbearable to watch. There's no and it's not leading in any direction. It's not interesting at all. So I don't understand why they think letting him go on for 2 hours helps him. I think it's really that he likes going on for 2 hours. It's a la Fidel Castro,
Yeah.
where it's the egotistical maniac just wants to keep talking because he's got a captive audience. But it doesn't persuade anybody because he's incapable of persuasion. It's
Yeah.
just it's just it's unbearable. Um,
Mm.
but I can't imagine people watch this all the way through.
Well, we watched it all the way through, and
I did. I'm
now
still looking at it. I
the
mean, it's
people who listen to this podcast tomorrow morning or tonight, when Jesse puts it out, will not have to watch it. So,
thank goodness.
the top line is Donald Trump's still a liar. can read
A
a
bigger
prompter.
liar than ever, I think. I think we can say that he is really outdoing himself with lies. So, America, he's back. Lying is back.
George Conway, why do you hate America?
Yeah, I don't hate America. I just hate lies. Really cannot stand lies.
I hope you'll come back.
I will, but I'm never watching another one of these speeches.
I can't. It's
Pretty
hard.